All right, we're recording.
Hey everyone!
Hi everyone.
So good to see you guys. We hope you are having, today's Sunday, we hope you're having a wonderful Sunday and a good start to the week. We wanted to film a really fun tomato video. We might do some tour stuff too.
I'll show you around. We got some pretty things.
But it's been raining a ton here, so we wanted to help people that have asked us questions on what to do.
There's a bee pollinating.
You want to show them? Our zinnias. There's a bee on there.
Isn't that pretty? Let's see if it'll focus on it.
Love it. That's why we have flowers in our garden, so that everything gets pollinated.
Sorry, I got distracted.
People have been asking us questions with stuff that was getting a lot of rain, whether we needed to fertilize it or stuff with the tomatoes that were getting really tall, how to prune them, sucker them, all that fun stuff. So we're going to show you guys a little bit what we did. There's a couple different ways to stake them too, so I'll show you some ideas.
Look at all the sticks.
Does that look fun?
It's
but it's a, I guess we'll just tell them it's a way that we can stake our tomatoes.
Yep.
So that they can vine up. So a lot of times we use tomato cages, which you can use that. That's awesome. But it's our little guy. But a lot of times the tomatoes can get so tall that they just flop over in the cage, and we don't want that. So we know these are going to get really tall. You can also use like cattle paneling, it's called. We actually have our peas on it in the back. But it's just like wire paneling that you can use as a trellis up. So anything trellising is really good. These are an idea that we're going to try out and see how it works. So it does look kind of crazy, like a bunch of sticks right now, but they're all going to climb up and it's just going to be beautiful tomatoes.
It's just going to be covered. You won't even see the sticks anymore. But the sticks are 1x2 boards. They're 1x2 furring strips we got from Home Depot. They're like $1 something a piece. So they're really cheap, because if I were to get tomato cages for all the almost 50 some tomatoes that somebody wanted to plant, because somebody loves tomatoes. I do too, but I
may have planted a lot from seed.
She started from seed, so many, and like,
of heirloom.
So if we were to, you know, buy tomato cages for all that, it would be ridiculous. You can do, like she said, the cattle panel routes. I just didn't want to commit to something yet, so we did this route because it feels inexpensive and easy.
And the benefit of it, like I said, they can get really tall and they'll be stabilized. They won't flop over. But also, as the sun hits all the tomatoes, it'll make the fruit even sweeter. So it really, and it gives it that lycopene, all that preventative stuff in it. So it's really good. Yep.
So I wanted to show real quick, I think we wanted to show you guys how to sucker tomatoes, but then I went to think about it. Some of you are already like starting to plant tomatoes and some of you have not planted them. So I'm gonna go grab a tomato real quick and just pretend like I'm sticking in the dirt for you. This is impromptu, by the way. Dr. Holly doesn't even know about this. So this is our tomato jungle. Farm. Our little, you know, the ones that we have from, no, those are a piece. There we go. Tomatoes. We got a ton here. These are from the plant sale. But if you want to just show right there in the dirt, just kind of hold the camera. Right there. Can you see this right here?
Yes, we
there's
can.
2 weeds I gotta get rid of. So right here, this is a brandywine yellow tomato. I'll dig it out, but this is just for me to show you. Look at the pretty roots on that. So essentially how we planted our tomatoes here is when you buy the tomatoes from us, we already remove some of the bottom leaves. But I recommend to bury it as deep as you can. So you can actually leave like 3 leaf sets. So technically the leader right here, this I would consider a leaf set. Then 1, 2, 3. So this one's actually optional to leave on or off. But you're gonna dig a really deep hole like that. Hope you can see that. I like to use my hands. You can use it whatever. But look at these roots from the other plants there. They're happy. And then in this hole, we would add our favorite fertilizer called Trifecta. Organic fertilizer, or you can add Biotone by Espoma, you can add Plant Tone by Espoma. What other fertilizers?
We use Fox Farm.
Fox Farm. Some people like to add eggshells and all that. Our compost has eggshells in it, so we don't do that. But this soil mix is 50% peat moss, 50% compost that we have, and then we also added rock dust and some good organic fertilizer in the soil when we first planted everything. So now in the hole I'm going to add that. You're actually
I'm picking pea pods.
Lucas talking there.
Our little one wants to tell you he's picking some pea pods.
Oh, cute. So you're just gonna plant this tomato. I need a bigger hole. I need a big hole. So you're just gonna plant this tomato as deep as you can, and then see how the tomato stem right here, you can see it better on the larger, has little hairs on it. The deeper you bury this tomato, my goal is to bury it this deep, but I can't dig a hole with my hand.
Halfway up the stem usually.
Yeah. So you these little hairs, when you bury it in the soil, these will actually turn into roots. The more roots you got, the more nutrient uptake the plant can have, and then also the more it'll produce fruit. So that's my trying to show you how to plant this. This is going back. This will be fine. It looks rough right now, but tomatoes are hardy. Okay, there we go. So that's how to plant it. And now we got some tools on what we use to prune them and to sucker them and to stake them. So we have a little pruner, you can use scissors, and then we have this tape. I'll show you what it looks like right here. Sturdy stretch tie it's called, but it's like a plastic tape that's stretchy.
Took us forever to find it. It was in the garden section, I think at Lowe's, maybe Home Depot.
Yeah, it was like $3 or
yeah.
something like that. But I'm going to show you how to sucker and how to prune. So pruning first, notice here how right here there used to be a branch. So I cut these off because this branch was touching the ground. So this branch, anytime the leaves come in contact with the soil, or it rains and then the water splashes from the soil to the leaves, that is what's going to cause blight or fungal diseases, because the disease is in the soil. It'll bump or jump up from here onto the leaves, and then it'll start infecting the bottom leaves and it'll move on to the top. So I'm going to show you right here, this leaf set right here. You can tell the leaves are looking pretty healthy. They just have a couple little dots here and there. But as this grows larger, it's actually going to bend down and touch the soil. So this one right here,
I'm gonna show them real quick. They're gonna grow into each other too.
Yeah, that's how we want to thin them, growing, you know. So I'm actually gonna cut it, not like exactly close to the stem as possible, just a little bit of a give. I don't want to like cut into this, but I'll just leave a little nub. So there we go. I just cut that. That'll scab over, and that's dunsy dunsy. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about suckering. Now notice here, I pruned probably up to almost 12 inches or a foot. There's a tiny little baby sucker there. I like to prune all my tomatoes up to a foot, even more. Notice right here, these leaves here, because it's been so wet and rainy, these leaves don't look that great.
2 weeks of rain, I think.
Don't look that great. So I'm actually going to get rid of this whole branch because these are getting too much moisture. If these get diseases, it's going to spread throughout the whole plant. So I'm going to go in here, cut this. That's done for. And then I'm going to go up here and notice here what a sucker is and the reason why you want to cut them or prune them. This is called a sucker. So notice here the main vine, tomatoes are a vine, the main vine right here is going up. You can follow it up here if you just want to keep showing. The main vine is growing up here, and then here's a branch. So it's a 90-degree angle, and then in between, almost like the armpit of the plant, is where the sucker is. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And the reason why we remove suckers is because suckers are like a whole other plant that wants to produce, it's going to produce more leaves, it's going to, they'll produce fruit, but it takes more energy out of the plant than it really helps it. So I like to keep a lot of airflow in the plant. Some people say you're growing tomatoes, not leaves, which is true, but you also need leaves to make tomatoes. So, but we're trying to keep this a single stem, and we're trying to keep any like side lateral growth to stay to just these branches, okay? So right here, you notice there's some little flowers, or flower buds that are about to form. This is normal, that's where the flowers and tomatoes are supposed to go. And then if you keep going up, right here you see another leaf set. So I'm going to let this grow out. That's pretty much all I'm going to do for this one because it's suckered and it's pruned. It looks good. Some of these leaves I may cut off later because they're looking a little tough. But now I'm going to add another little layer of the sticky, not sticky, but the stretch tape here. I'm just going to tie that around I should have cut that a little longer, but it is what it is. Oh, the pressure, the pressure. People are watching. Tie the thing. People are watching.
I think it's because I cut them before.
Yeah.
I cut them a lot longer.
Okay, and that's okay. It has room to grow. So I'm just
that's why we like to use the stretchy tape. They have like a white elastic one as well. But if you just use regular string, it kind of holds the plant tight and it might not let it grow as well. So this allows it to expand as it grows, which is really cool. Let
me show you another example so that you guys get it here, because this is another tomato
some of our tomatoes here.
Yes, aren't they pretty?
Look at they're beautiful. I'm so proud because they're from seed. Look at these stalks. They're like bigger than my finger. So cool.
So this is a tomato where a sucker actually went nuts and went crazy and started to produce a whole other plant. So you see this?
Where do you see that?
You see this is actually the main stem of the plant.
Perfect.
Right here. And do you see this here, the elbow in a sense? Or not the elbow, the armpit, right? So this is a branch right here that we have on this one side. This is a sucker, and this is the main vine. How do I know that? It's because the fruit is right here. You can see it's actually starting to produce little baby fruit.
I didn't even see that. That's
Look
exciting. Yay.
So what's going on here is this sucker got a little...
Get that leaf.
Yeah, there we go. A little too big. If you want to follow the sucker up, show them how big it got.
It looks it's as tall as the tomato plant.
Yeah, so I'm going to go in and cut this whole thing. Look. And look how big this sucker got. Now you'll think that's really sad. There was even some flowering things here and all that, but really
I'm kind of crying on the inside.
It's taking a lot of energy to produce so many more of these leaves. So your yield actually may be slightly less in terms of your tomatoes, but your tomatoes are going to be bigger. They're going to be sweeter because there's more energy to them. But because the bushier your tomato plants are, the sun won't hit the tomatoes. And the tomatoes produce their sweetness, of course, with minerals and things from the soil, but also when they get the heat of the sun, and that's when we get the most health from them. So you want to make sure that the plant is a vine.
See Lucas picking seeds in the background. Or peas, I mean.
All right.
Pea pods.
So this one here is, I removed that sucker, and then you see here, there's another sucker right here. I'll move that. So I'm going to remove this sucker right there. And now we have one single stem, one single vine that's going up. You can see right here, this is called the leader. When you can see there's a whole bunch of leaves that are trying to form. This is called the main leader. This is your main vine. Keep this going up the whole way and keep cutting the suckers. You can see a small sucker right here. This is the main leader. This is a branch. We're gonna cut that sucker again. Cut that sucker. I'm just gonna go in quick and cut a few more because I see them. This is a big old sucker.
Wow, that hurts me.
And I did this just like, look at that. I mean, we let this guy go.
Let me show you how thick that is.
And people think, oh, you're nuts for suckering them and all that. But if you don't do it, they'll get really bushy and there won't be enough airflow. They'll get a little more disease issues. I just suckered these not too long ago. My gosh. There's some huge ones. Okay. Some of the little ones you can just do by hand. Little suckers. But yep, we're going to go ahead and do all of these in the future. This here, I need to tie up again.
What that looks like after going through.
Yep. And see here, this I need to tie up again. So I'm going to cut myself a little more of a tie this time. And then tie it up. And you can see why we need sticks that are long, because when you train tomatoes like a vine and you sucker them, it'll push for growth to go up. So it'll push for all this growth to keep going up instead of bushing out. So that's why these get so tall.
Exactly.
All right.
There we go. Yay! All right, guys. Hopefully that was so helpful. Our battery is starting to get low, so I don't know if we probably don't have time to do some of the tour stuff.
We can show you like a briefing.
Flowers.
Look at the pretty flowers.
I'm so excited because I want to do a cut flower garden here, and they're just blooming like crazy and doing so well. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, so we've cut a ton from it already, so I'm like, we made a lot of bouquets.
Yes.
But yes, let us know, post in the comments any questions, and we'll be putting out some more videos, but let us know what else you want to learn.
Yes, awesome. Happy tomatoing!
Happy tomatoing.
Love you guys. Hope you're doing well. Bye!